Jim here from Beluga Boy. This video shows you how to configure Remote Jam and start a host session. Please follow along, setting the fields that I point at to suitable values for you. Set the user alias field to your first name or your nickname so other Jam session users know what to call you. Hosts don't require a seating code. They are always assigned the first seat. Then give a short bio to let others know a bit about you. If you will be hosting Jam sessions, then you will need to obtain a host ID. You only need to do this once. Then set your external port and state whether you have port forwarding enabled. The defaults of 2794 and no should work for most users. Now state the instruments you are using for each input channel. At this point, you need to load the host session properties for the Jam session that you are going to host. You should have these stored in a host properties file, but if you don't, just type them in. The main parameters here consist of a unique Jam session ID and session key, and indicators stating whether the jam is private or not, and whether it's a local LAN-based jam or is internet-wide. These settings must be made available to others so they can join your jam. You should also state where the jam is being hosted and provide a brief description and relevant keywords so users can decide if your jam is right for them. Spell your city, province, and country names out in full so users can locate your jam sessions if you will be using the Jam Session Scheduler. If you make any changes to the session properties, make sure you save the revised set to a host properties file and that you update your event entries in the Jam Session Scheduler. Your satellite users will also require the revised host properties. Now is a good time to check the mixer for your audio setup, making sure your input channels are redirected to the correct output channels and that your volume and panning are set OK. Then make sure your reserved seating is set up for repeat customers and update your jam session description if it needs it. Now that you have all of your remote jam parameters configured the way you want, it's time to start the jam. First, we move to registration mode, then to jam mode. Users can now join the jam session and audio communications is active. When users join, their mic'd voices and instruments will be audible to all participants. That's it. Until next time, this is Jim at Beluga Boy saying happy trails.